The principle of polarity is the fourth of 7 principles used for self-mastery. This particular principle contains the power to transform our perception of the world, intentionally manifest our experiences, and achieve balance and harmony within. My name's Jasmine and welcome to the 7 Hermetic Principles series. To watch the other videos in the series, check out the links below. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites, like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths, all paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kybalion. Now, it is evident that we are living in a world of duality. The principle of polarity explains that seemingly opposite things are actually one and the same, and that what we consider to be opposites are actually just two extremes of the same thing. They differ only in degree. So a simple example being that cold is just an absence of heat. Both poles fall under the same category of temperature. We may see how love and hate are on the same continuum in our relationships when we swing from love to hate in a matter of seconds. And physical matter and spiritual energy are the same thing, with spirit vibrating at a much faster speed than dense physical matter. This principle is extremely interconnected with the principle of rhythm, which states that the universe works in a rhythmic flow. We constantly move between the polar opposites. We move through times of joy and then through times of despair. One day we feel extremely motivated and the next unmotivated. The pendulum is swinging us from pole to pole. Now, with a basic understanding that polarity is just one and the same, we actually watch our life completely change based on that knowing alone, simply because anything that we experience that is undesirable, we may then choose to identify the opposing pole and then choose to work our way up the scale. So when we intentionally manifest something in our experience as well, we can actually find reassurance in knowing that even though we may be experiencing the complete opposite, we're actually much closer than we think. I'm actually going to discuss more on how to work with these principles later on in the video. Polarity is relative. Though polarity is often considered absolute by nature, it is in fact relative and depends entirely on perception. For example, one man's rich is another man's poor, depending on the country we were born in. Though a bird is small to us, that same bird is big to an insect. Having an educational history in criminology, I can certainly say that some conventional bad behavior according to society is actually considered good in the mind of a criminal. So in reality, you see there is no right or wrong. Everything is perception. Much of our opinions about duality is based on belief, and belief does not represent truth. Our beliefs are in a constant state of flux, especially those that choose to adopt a less rigid view of perceiving the world. If the truth changes, then it cannot be truth, since truth always remains unchanged. As the Kybalion states, all truths are but half-truths, simply because there are two sides to everything. Hermetic teachings are actually filled with reference to the law of paradox, whereby students are reminded to be aware that there are two poles of truth. So students are continuously reminded not to get caught up or fixated on any halves of these truths. For example, yes, the world around us may be an illusion, but it's also still very much real. How can we apply this principle? Transmutation. Alchemy involves the transmutation of something that is less desirable into a more desirable outcome at will, and that is exactly the power that is contained within this principle. If there is an unpleasant feeling, way of thinking, or experience that you wish to change, simply become aware of the polar opposite. Even the simple understanding of the polarity itself, coupled with intention and desire to change, is often enough to do so. For example, if you are feeling fear about something, you may wish to direct your mental energy towards courage and swing the pendulum to the opposite pole. However, we may not jump directly from one end to the extreme. Rather, we may simply move towards the opposite end. This conscious movement from one side to another is largely a matter of intention, focus, and will. Energy flows where attention goes, and as we learned in the first three principles, our mind creates our experiences. And therefore, by switching our focus to the desired outcome, we can smoothly slide along the continuum, removing our focus from the undesirable experience itself, which will only further perpetuate it. Take action. So it is study and practice of this principle and all the principles really that will enable you to become a master of things like transmutation. And, whether it's for long-term or short-term transmutations, this is the case. So remember, you're already existing on the pole in relation to what you actually desire. You just need to change direction. So you want to shift from procrastination towards proactivity, with every action you do gradually moving you more towards the end of the pole that you wish to reside in. Every decision you make and action that you partake in will decide the direction in which you move on the continuum, whether it be physical action or mental action. For example, if you wish to move in the direction of abundance, set your goal, create intention of where you want to be, know wholeheartedly that you will get there simply because you are already there. You're simply just adjusting your vibrational frequency and place on the scale. Know that the universe may present you with the exact opposite of what you want, as per the law of rhythm and the inevitable swinging of the pendulum between the two poles. Yet maintain unwavering focus and determination, even through challenges, knowing that your goal is absolutely achievable because it's written within the universal law, and the pendulum will eventually swing you through success. Every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or a greater benefit. Napoleon Hill. Moving thoughts along the scale. Mind may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. True hermetic transmutation is a mental art, the Kybalion. Mental state is extremely important when applying this principle, and as per all the principles, we are yet again brought to the necessity of mastering the mind. Though we cannot control what thoughts pop into our mind, we can certainly master what thoughts we choose to follow and where we choose to direct our mental power. When shifting poles, if we choose negative thoughts, we will have negative results and vice versa. Mental alchemy and constantly directing thoughts to the opposite, more desirable pole is an art that can be mastered, and a negative mental state itself may be transmuted into a positive one using will. Now, since developing the right mindset is absolutely crucial, much of this may be found by realizing that there is a positive within every single negative, just simply because good exists within bad. They are one and the same. Now, our ability to actually recognize the silver lining is extremely powerful when working with this principle, because we begin to move thought in the direction that we wish to go. Manifestation. Now, all that manifestation is moving that of formlessness, which is our thoughts, along the scale into physical matter, which is that of form. Anything that is desired exists within a pole, whether it's health, connection, peace, happiness, abundance, and so on. When bringing into our life what we desire, we must find the opposing pole and simply identify where we are positioned on the continuum. At this point, we may choose to engage our power of mental imagery by visualizing the scale itself and move the lever up. Depolarization and non-duality. So to what degree you swing in one particular direction, in one particular polarity, the pendulum will then swing to that degree on the opposing side. So in order to avoid yo-yoing between the extremes of two poles, we may instead choose to depolarize and to instead live a more balanced life. So balanced people do not yo-yo between the extremes. Through residing in the center, we are less easily controlled and manipulated, as well as being generally less reactive to things. Maintaining a balance between the two poles and depolarizing will create flow, peace, and harmony in our life, but we must be prepared to let go of extremes. If you're interested in this, you may wish to explore Buddhist teachings of the middle way or explore the practice of non-duality, which actually aims to raise one's consciousness above duality. Additionally, there is the middle pillar ritual, which is designed to balance duality and depolarize the magician. Now, this principle is hugely impactful in so many ways. Through actually working with it and adopting this profound perception of reality, then we really can master our experience in this lifetime simply by shifting our polarization. So I really encourage you to actually work with it, put the effort in, and then you'll see the effectiveness of it in your life. You see, experience is the supreme revealer of truth. Within this principle, we also see the futility of judgment, since the nature of polarity gives birth to opinions and truths that are only half true. Through transcending duality and seeing past the poles, we can really awaken to our inherent oneness, realizing deeply our existence within the mind of the all. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye 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 bye.